What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple H podcast, Happy Hour Hoops, NBA Trade Deadline Edition. Happy Hour Hoops presented by Trainwreck Sports, NBA Trade Deadline Edition. And guys, we made it through. All trades are finals, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is still a Milwaukee Buck. Ja Morant is still on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's start here, boys. First of all, how do we enjoy the trade deadline? It's pretty good.
I hated it. I
Solid.
hated
Well,
everything
yes,
about it.
we'll get into that too.
I
But
mean,
true, I should have known.
it's what you could ask for an NBA trade deadline, right? This is where the NBA has every other sport beat. Is the trade deadline in the other sports? You see a couple deals here and there, a couple names. NBA, you never know what you're gonna get, and just a lot of big names moved this deadline. So, I was happy with it, despite Giannis not getting moved. I was really hoping we were gonna see a Giannis trade that would shake up the league the rest of this season and seasons to come, but. For now, he's still in Milwaukee.
For now.
Crazy, man.
There's no way. I mean, did you see his tweet today, too? How crazy
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
What a menace. What an absolute menace. Did you see that, Dunny?
I did, yeah. The
Okay.
thing about attracting and not chasing.
Yeah, and then the
Stars
and Jordan
attract and not
Belfort.
chase.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And the Bucks tweet I thought was even crazier. They
wait, what did the
posted-
Bucks say?
They posted a video of Doc Rivers saying that Shams is on the trading block and that Giannis does not want to be traded. And they said conversations have started about Shams' future and discussing whether ESPN's senior NBA insider Best Fit is staying on Giannis' all-star celebrity team or elsewhere. So pettiness from the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't really get the reaction from both the Bucks and Giannis because there's no way at some point from the end of last season to today's NBA trade deadline that Giannis did not at least hint at wanting to be off this Bucks team because there's just been too much reporting, not just from Shams. There wouldn't have been that many teams interested, putting it out there that they were willing to trade for Giannis. All this stuff with the Warriors this week about how Draymond would become available. There's just no way. So kind of corny from both Giannis and the Bucks. And also, if there's anything boring about this trade deadline, it was just that Giannis didn't get traded, stays put in Milwaukee. I think he'll get traded this summer, but who knows at this rate?
Yeah, it makes sense for Milwaukee too. And there's rumors that now Milwaukee is going to sit him the rest of the year basically and just try to tank out this year, get the highest pick you can, and then you have all the options available to you in the summer. There's no need to rush this right now unless there was a deal that they couldn't refuse, and they're clearly. I mean, there was rumors that the asking price was crazy from the Bucks right now, and it probably was, and it probably should be. So. Definitely some flexibility in the summer. I imagine that is all we'll be talking about as we head into the summer is the Giannis potential destinations. But yeah, I mean he's been acting weird about this since before the season even started, and it's let's get it over with at this point. Like let's see what you're gonna do. But I wouldn't imagine seeing. I would be surprised if we see him on the court the rest of the year. Honestly, like what does this Bucks team have to play for really at this point?
Yeah, I also saw some people speculating that teams who are in it this year and have a chance to make a playoff push, the calf strain that he does have right now worried them and weren't really sure how bad that injury is. I saw an anonymous report from a team that they were worried that Giannis wouldn't want to be the 2 on that team. So, that's only a handful of teams where Giannis would be considered the 2 behind some guys. So I'm sure we could narrow that down if that's even true or not. But a million reasons probably why he didn't get traded. And then I'm sure even if he doesn't get traded this summer, there will be a Giannis sweepstakes that gets talked about from when the NBA Finals is over until the start of next season. But it kind of seems like we've had that for like the last 3 seasons now.
Yeah, it feels that way. And a lot of the, I guess, rumored, trade pieces that were going to be with Milwaukee for these trades from multiple teams. It felt like everyone I read just didn't feel like it was a great return for Milwaukee. Like it almost
Mm,
like a panic move at that point. And it could have been. I mean, that's kind of how I felt it was so far this season with the way like Giannis was being cryptic and everything was coming out about, Giannis potentially leaving Milwaukee and all these landing spots. And you looked at some of the trade packages that were rumored, and none of them really jumped out of the page for me of, this is really going to help Milwaukee like kind of fully rebuild. They're kind of rebuilding right now. Giannis isn't on
yeah.
the team. This is a bad Bucks team right now. So I don't think it hurts them to just basically, tank this year, get a top pick, and then figure out what they want to do with Giannis going forward. Because I'm with you, Dunny. I don't think he's going to be a Milwaukee Buck next year. But I also was a little bit surprised he didn't get traded this deadline because of the amount of teams we saw interested, the amount of teams that were sending offers, and some of the packages. Teams were being very aggressive. And whether that's true or not, with some of the rumored packages we saw, right? I think the Miami Heat one was crazy to me with Hero and Kelly
Hmm.
Ware in there and a couple others. The Knicks had a big package, but whether that's all true or not, there were a lot of teams, in position being very aggressive. And I thought we were going to see for the second straight year a massive superstar getting traded in the middle of the season, but we did not. And of course, Giannis has to send that tweet, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've been locked in Milwaukee the whole time. Giannis here, I don't think he'll be a Buck. I'm gonna be completely honest. I do not think he will be a Buck by the start of next season.
Yeah, and it could have just come down to the Bucks realizing that too, being like, well, we could be getting crazy offers right now. We'll be getting even crazier offers from more teams this summer
Yeah.
if we make them available.
Right.
So maybe they just didn't like everything, didn't want to bite, and that's why Giannis is still in Milwaukee. Ja still on the Grizzlies, a little less surprising, but and we'll get to it. Obviously, the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. I still thought Ja was going to be moved. I actually thought once that happened that there was even more of an incentive to trade Ja and kind of just blow it up and do like a mini rebuild here. But he's
Wendy
still on the
said.
Grizzlies.
Wendy said nobody wanted him.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard too, and I was going to bring that up. I don't know how true that is. Wendy said it, so it's got to be somewhat credible. But we might just be at that point. No one just wants to take on Ja, his character, and everything, all the baggage he brings.
Yeah.
And I'm not as surprised with Ja staying in Memphis because right now,
Definitely not.
what would you pay for Ja at this point? Memphis is clearly asking for way too much. If
Well,
no one wants to, throw a dart and roll the dice at Ja,
Well, that's
I
kind of why I thought maybe after the Jaren Jackson deal, where they get 3 first-round picks in return, maybe they turn around and trade Ja for a little bit cheaper than the offers they were hoping to get. But even that still didn't happen. So yeah,
right.
they might have just not been getting many calls at all. Maybe all those Heat rumors were kind of smoke, not fire, and especially maybe once the Heat were like, well, we're not getting Giannis, let's not risk too much and try to go after Ja here. Um, but yeah, that's still kind of an interesting situation because they did essentially blow up the rest of the roster. Obviously, they still made the Bane move this offseason or to get off of
Right.
Bane and to get picks. So they're loaded on picks. And now it's like, do they, are they building around Ja again? I can't really see that happening. Like, do they restart, but they're going to keep this guy who supposedly has caused so many problems for the organization? So I don't know. Obviously not as surprising as Giannis, but strange just from like an awkward franchise standpoint at this rate with the Grizzlies and where they can go. A lot of options, a lot of picks, but weird vibes from the Grizz.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So
I mean, feels like a tank. Feels like it. I mean, sit
Yeah.
Ja too. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know what he's gonna help out at this point.
I mean, good draft to tank for sure. So we'll see if the Grizzlies just start plummeting.
So I mean,
that's
we're gonna start seeing some nasty stuff from some teams.
Yeah.
Nasty.
and I think that's partly why maybe Milwaukee didn't trade Giannis or maybe didn't pull the trigger here because I think this is potentially a draft class that could completely change trade packages, if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think there's enough talent in the top end of this draft class where it could really, really change, draft packages. And I don't really want to, draw this comparison here, but if you guys have been seeing how Cooper Flag's been playing lately
It's
and
insane.
seeing the complete, change and from how he was the first month of the season to now and how, much star power he has in college. And I don't believe it too much where people are like, oh, he wouldn't go top 5 in this draft class. I think that's crazy
I
that
said
there's
Jamal
some
Mashburn should be fired and never allowed on TV
I
again,
think
and I
that's
stand by
absolutely
that.
crazy. You got
I
a guy with
stand by
multiple
that.
40-point games. You got a guy whose his
He's the most
finishing move in
points
the
by a
NBA right now
teenager
is
ever. Like 2
unbelievable. Yeah,
days before
no,
he said
right,
that.
right. I think that's just him trying to say how good this draft class is. I'm not in agreement with him at all, but I do think there are a lot of NBA GMs that are watching these freshmen basketball. And they're all freshmen. These freshman
Yeah,
college
which is
basketball players
crazy.
continue to get better and better and better game after game. We talk about Peterson, we talk about Dabanza, but there's so many others that just keep getting better and better and better and better. Like Arizona's got a kid, Pete Houston's got a kid. Like there's just so many that just keep improving as the years going on. And I think with a player like Giannis, and then obviously you have these other teams that are all going to be in this whole tank fest. And that's what a lot of these trades we're going to discuss about really are leading these
Yeah.
teams to do. But I think it's because this draft class, they know that, hey, you know what? The number 4 pick in this upcoming draft could be worth multiple firsts. This could
Yep.
be worth a player and multiple firsts down the road. Like, because that's how
Mm-hmm.
important it is. And that's how badly some of these teams want to jump in to the top 5, the top 6 picks and try to get a guy who can come in and immediately change their franchise right away.
That's a great point about the picks in general. Like the Bucks will know like exactly the market they're dealing with. Like they'll know that whoever has the number 1, 2, 3 pick and can kind of sort through it that way. So see what happens, man.
Yeah, let's get right into the trades. We're gonna break them down in kind of chronological order. I believe the first one starting from January 31st, and then we'll talk about the last kind of biggest moves today. Some smaller trades. If you're a real NBA sicko, we kind of left out for a couple reasons, sake of time, and just name recognition here. We still have most of the moves here, even some smaller intricate ones. And if you are, we might say a few players' names twice because they were traded multiple times. That happens. Steve mentioned it. No one really does it like the NBA. There's kind of chaos for like the last 4 hours of the trade deadline, and you'll see that through some of our talking points. But Jake, your Cavs were very active. I assume you were still a happy Cavs fan when this first trade went down. The Cavs trade DeAndre Hunter to the Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, who are both currently on the roster still for the Cavs. Where were you at with when the Cavs made this move? I think you liked this, correct?
I mean, this was DeAndre Hunter has not been very good this year for the Cavs. Really poor shooting. And there was a rumor a couple weeks ago that he wanted out of Cleveland. So clearly and as we'll get on to, there's clearly been some chemistry issues. There's been things going on in Cleveland. So I think that he saw the writing on the wall in a lot of ways. And just, I think he was great last year. It was a great pickup for them and what they needed. He was awesome until he got hurt in the playoffs, and losing him in the playoffs was a big reason that they went down in that series the way they did. They had a lot of injuries in that series, which is going to be a trend for a lot of the Cavs things. But they get Keon Ellis, a great, analytic darling defensively for sure as a perimeter defender. Just a great energy guy, a 3-and-D guy, like a guy that there was a lot of teams around the league were apparently in on Keon Ellis. So that was fun. Schroeder just basically, I mean, the Cavs, another one of these little deals. I don't know if I don't know if I saw it on here or not, but with the Lonzo deal too, Schroeder's running that bench unit now and is going to be 100 times better than Lonzo has been this year doing that. Like Lonzo has been just atrocious, and Schroeder just you guys know how Schroeder is, like just a little bit of attitude too that he brings. Like even last night, like stripped Kawhi and just give like a little casual like past, where it's just a different energy, a different vibe from Schroeder. He put up 14 shots last night. The only guy who shot more than was Donovan Mitchell. He was 5 for 14. I mean, but that's what you expect from him, and that's what I think they want from him in that bench role. So getting for what Hunter was doing, which was a lot of nothing and a lot of sulking, to get a young guy who's really hungry in Keon Ellis, and Schroeder, who is just an energizer off the bench and is a guy who can go get a bucket in a lot of these games and is always going to be an irrational confidence guy. I love this move for them.
Yeah. It's funny because when the Cavs acquired DeAndre Hunter, like, I remember that, that was last year at the deadline, right? Or was it before the deadline? I know it was during the season last year, but I remember as a Celtics fan being like, this Cavs team's already a wagon. They make this move for Hunter, who I think all three of us were pretty high on when he was in Atlanta. Yep. Understood Atlanta moving on from what they had in Jalen Johnson. And you're right, Jake. Just like disappointment this year. So yeah, this, we'll get into the other Cavs trade. We don't have to spend too much time on this, but I remember when this happened, 3-4 nights ago, the three of us were all thought it was a good deal. And you're right, Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, probably both guys who were, highly targeted by other teams.
Yeah, Ellis is a good player too. I like this move a lot because I think this wasn't a great fit, Hunter on the Cavs. Sometimes there's a player you like and it's just never a great fit, and it just never felt like he worked with the Cavs in their system. I thought he'd be a much bigger impact, especially this season, and really wasn't. And Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder are guys that you can just kind of plug in anywhere and they produce. And Keon Ellis was one that surprised me when he was on the Kings, because I always thought that there were going to be other kind of guards that were going to emerge over Keon Ellis. But he got on the court really because of his defense, mainly, is how he got on the court for Sacramento, and then kind of, his offensive game improved the more minutes he played. But I don't think the Keon Ellis part of this deal is understated. I don't know how big of a role he's going to have on the Cavs, but this is a guy I think that can log a lot of minutes. I think this is a guy who can play when you need it. This is a guy when, you have guards that get hurt pretty often. This is a guy that you can plug in and he can help out. So I really like this move for the Cavs. I know Jake and I are probably going to argue about this. We're probably going to yell at each other this episode, but I do think the Cavs are a better team now than they were before.
Oh, yeah, we will argue.
I do.
You guys are definitely going to argue then.
Yes.
But we have time to get to that. Let's talk about one of the bigger trades. I don't know if it was the biggest, but probably most shocking. Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jack Landell, Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Mr. Slow-Mo, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 first-round picks for the Memphis Grizzlies. Also, important note here, the Grizz created a $28.8 million trade exception with them moving on from Jaren Jackson Jr. That is the largest ever in the NBA. So they can sign a very, very good player with that trade exception. Jaren Jackson to the Utah Jazz to pair up with Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George. I'll probably do that another time before this episode ends.
And Walker Kessler when he comes back too. They got size, man. They got size. They're dogs, man. Give Ace Bailey another year. See if he can get better by next year. Like this is a team. The Jazz, they got a kind of a fun squad. They got a big squad too. And I think it's worth noting. I'm pretty sure. Just you can fact check me on this. I'm pretty sure all 3 first-round picks they traded were not theirs. Right? It was picks they had acquired from other teams that they traded. Which, I mean, Dunny, you know how Ainge works. You know how Danny Ainge works. I don't need to tell you, Dunny. I don't need to tell you. You know how he works, but.
I wasn't expecting him to get Triple J, but here we are.
No, neither was I, and it's a classic, right, Danny Ainge move where it just kind of shocks you, and at first you're like, man, what? Like, like 3 firsts and all those young players for Jaren Jackson. And the more you kind of look at it and everything, you kind of start to see the vision. You kind of start to see like the shape of this Utah Jazz team. Hendricks and Walter Clayton are 2 young guys I like. They weren't getting a
Same.
ton of minutes despite injuries for Utah, but when they were on the court, they were producing, and I like those guys. So I'm curious what their role is going to be like for the Grizzlies. But this is, classic, Utah Jazz. What's our hole right now? Maybe we need a little bit more on defense. And Laurie now can potentially, when they're at full strength, play the 3, which that's not the worst thing in the world. He can just kind of be pure offensive, don't have to worry about him being a cone on the defensive end because you're bringing in one of the best defensive, forwards and a guy who can really cover pretty much any position in Jaren Jackson Jr. So I like what I'm seeing. The Jazz have been a fun team this year. I think we coined them as one of our favorite league pass teams so far this year because it feels like their games are 140 to 132. But now you bring in Triple J, might go down a little bit, but despite him being, acquired probably for his defense, he's also very good offensive talent too. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. has really stepped up as being like the Grizzlies' go-to guy when he needs to be. The more I look at this deal, at first I was like, wow, I feel like they overpaid for him, and that's just me being burned by the Mavs not getting a first in their Luka deal, but that's whatever. But the more I look at this and the picks that they gave up, and the young guys, I do like Hendricks, I do like Clayton. There's not really a path there when you have Collier and you have, George in front of you. I kind of like it. Kind of like it for this Utah Jazz team. They're young and then they got talent, man.
Well, I think this is a glowing endorsement for Keontae George too, because
Yes.
I think this
Absolutely.
means like if we're trading that draft capital, we're trading other young guards like you mentioned, like this is our guy moving forward. And like he's having that season, but
Yes.
he's on the Utah Jazz. I don't think many people understand. Like this is a dude who's averaging 24 a game and 6.6 assists while also shooting 45% from the field, and he takes a lot of shots. So he's a real bucket getter. He can facilitate. This is to me the Jazz saying, all right, this is our scoring combo guard. We have Laurie. We're gonna have Kessler back next year. Like that. That starting lineup's going to be massive, and then
It's huge.
they have some options. They have some wiggle room. They can make some moves in the offseason. I do think Jaren Jackson's extension kicks in next year, so a lot of money on the books for Laurie and Jaren, but I don't think Danny's worried about that right now. I think this is a good trade for the Jazz.
I will never hate teams or get mad at teams for trying to get a good player, for trying to get talent. And I'll talk about that more after the Wizards, but I will never get mad at a team for going for it. And I think that's what the Utah Jazz are doing. They're trying to win. The West is incredible. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, but I will never get mad at a team for being like, you know what, we have these assets, we have a lot of depth. Why not? Why not try?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I just reading the names again right now. I'm pretty sure this is Kyle Anderson's second time on the Grizzlies. So
Yes.
that's
That
fun
would
for
make
him.
sense. That would make sense.
But yeah, it does, like we talked about it with Ja already, but the only thing for the Grizz is like this confuses me a little more about their future because they do.
Oh
have
no,
all
they
these
said they're
picks.
cornerstones. You didn't see this?
I did
The
not.
Grizz, there was a report, I can't remember who posted it yesterday. They're like, they believe their cornerstones now are Zach Edey and Cedric Coward. So obviously that
Okay.
they're set for the future. I think
Walter
that,
Clayton Jr. They don't
yeah,
need Ja.
and
They
Walter
got
Clayton,
Walter Clayton
there you
Jr.
go. Yeah, they're definitely looking for one of those top picks this year, and that's why you got to make this move for Jaren. And I think Utah at some point they're gonna have to make a move, right? And George kind of changes things for them of who they would need. And now you have a guy, you have a great wing, you have a great guard, you have a great big, and see what you can build around them. And if they wanted to in the summer, like they could shop Laurie Market. They've shopped him before. Yeah. They could shop him again and see what they could get, and then kind of build around that way too. So just a lot of options for Utah, but the talent level obviously higher. Danny Ainge working his magic. It's an interesting trade for sure.
Yeah, we'll see there. Yeah, that's a good point. They definitely could move on from Laurie, and I kind of like how they're envisioning. At least I assume this is what they're envisioning is letting Jaren Jackson play a little bit at that 4 spot because you do have a guy like Walker Kessler, and the years on the Grizzlies that Jaren Jackson's been there, it's kind of proven he works out a little better if he plays alongside a bigger guy. I think hence the Grizzlies drafting Edie, but obviously they haven't played too much together. Next trade, Bulls, Timberwolves, and Pistons, team trade. This is a weird one because these are names that will be mentioned again. Some of these guys in this trade got moved after the fact. Jaden Ivey and Mike Connolly originally traded to the Bulls, Kevin Herter and Dario Saric, and a first-round swap to the Timberwolves. Swap with the T-Wolves to the Pistons. Sorry. Yeah, just kind of a nothing trade here. Jaden Ivey to the Bulls. We talked about it. We'll talk about the deal they make later on, but it's kind of the DeSumo replacement, which you mentioned in our group chat, Jake.
The Bulls, I don't know what they're doing. They basically swapped over all their guards. They've got all sorts of expiring contracts all over now.
They have 14 second-round picks.
14 second-round picks, which hey,
for like the next 5 years, I think.
There's the G League team right there, the Windy City Bulls over the next 5 years. You're set. I don't know what the Bulls are doing here. This made a lot of sense for me for the T-Wolves in the moment. Like when I was thinking of it, it's Conley, whatever. What are you getting out of him right now? Honestly, Herter is the type of guy they would need on that team. Just the shooting, the ball handling ability, take some pressure off of Dillingham, take some pressure off of Ant, and just having another option there. I think he's going to fit. I think he would fit really nicely in that group. It's just the Bulls part of it is the most confusing part, and it's the Ivy part's crazy too, because we saw it before JB Bickerstaff showed up that like he was in the doghouse, and then JB never really gave him a shot either. I still feel like there's a lot of talent there, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and this is it's funny because when this happened, everyone was like, "Oh my God, the T-Wolves shedding money. Maybe they're in the Giannis sweepstakes." And we saw how that went.
I think they were for sure.
Yeah.
I think that they were making their pitches for Giannis. I think Jaden McDaniels was up on the table there. And still something I would try to explore in the summer too, like to get Ant that guy, but we'll see what happens.
I wonder if that was the team where they thought Ant was the one and Giannis would be the two.
Yeah, I also think that could be Golden State. That was my thought.
Yes, that when I was reading the tweet, that's what came to my mind.
But I could see it. Ant would make a lot more sense though, because obviously younger guy, yes. ego-wise, all of that. Interesting though. I mean, yeah, the Giannis. We're gonna hear so much about this Giannis negotiations over the next couple weeks. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Chicago Bulls, they were busy, and this trade involves my Boston Celtics here. The Chicago Bulls traded Nikola Vucevic plus a second-round pick to the Celtics for Anthony Simons, who I was sad to see go, and a second-round pick. So second-round pick swaps. Vooch coming to Boston. Anthony Simons on his way to the Chicago Bulls. We mentioned it, just loaded up on guards and second-round picks. I texted you guys. I was sad right away. I had to let the NBA nerds talk to me. I knew Stevens had the team's best interest at heart, and that's exactly what Brad Stevens did. Saved about $7 million contract for contract. Vooch is $21 million. He's an expiring, so they don't have to, hold on to him next year if they want to move on. It'll be easy to move on from him. 35 years old, but is a big man who still gets his. He's still like an 18-9 guy, shooting 38% from the three this year. So you're not losing offense, even though we're trading Anthony Simons, was one of the hotter scorers in the NBA at the time when he got traded. And we have a much better center rotation now. the last 2 games since this trade's happened, we've been bringing Peyton Pritchard off the bench, and he's scored 28 and 27 in those games. So the scoring from the guard position hasn't really lacked yet. And you guys kind of talked me down too. I was sad about Simons, but this is a good trade for the Boston Celtics, and I'm excited to see Vooch in the green. We have a legit big man rotation now, and this also, it doesn't mean it for sure, but you would think that this is a good sign for Tatum coming back this season too.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good sign even if Tatum doesn't come back. Because as great as your front court has played, Dunny, our biggest concern coming into this season was the Celtics front court. And obviously Jaylen Brown has been playing out of this world and has helped that. And Kata has, surpassed all expectations. And even your depth has been incredible. But now you get almost like a Porzingis light, where he's not as much of an impact defensively, obviously. Vooch has never been a great defensive player, but you have a big man who can stretch the floor. And this is a guy you have to guard on the 3. And we're talking about the Celtics, who you reminded me are the best offensive efficiency right now in the NBA. That's only going to make it easier for these guys. And I get it. Simons is fun. He's a microwave when he goes crazy. I watched so many late night games when he was on Portland. If he makes the first one, Dunny, he's making the next 5 or 6. That's just how Simons operates. But I think this move makes the Celtics better. It makes you more balanced. And you really didn't need a Simons when you have a guy like that in Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard is basically Anthony Simons to a degree. He does a little bit other things, I think, better than Simons. And I think Simons sometimes can be a better scorer than Pritchard. But regardless, you have that type of player already. You now have a big who can stretch the floor, who has to be honored at the 3-point arc, and it's just going to make it easier for everything offensively with or without Tatum. Now, when Tatum comes back, we're talking about potentially the best offense in the NBA. So this is a move that I think sets him up for, if Tatum does come back and you want to make a legit run at another title, or if Tatum doesn't come back and you just want to have a team that your offense is just going to be so tough to stop with a guy like Vooch. And also, too, with Vooch, I know he's not the best defender in the world, but this is a guy who can vacuum up 15 rebounds a night. This is a guy who can just gobble up boards. And obviously, Jaylen Brown's having a great season on the boards. The Celtics are a team where everyone can just step up and get rebounds, but now you got a big body who can get you those second chances and pass it out for a team that loves to shoot the 3 as much as Boston. I love this move. I think we talked about this last year, that this was a potential guy that the Celtics could get for their front court. And I know it's tough to kind of see Simons go, especially how he's been playing as of late. Yeah. But I got to be honest with you, Dunny. I think this is probably my favorite move of the deadline. It is the biggest position of need, in my opinion, for a team that has a legitimate shot, a team that could potentially get their superstar back, and a player that, man, dude, he could put up 20 and 10 for this team.
Yeah. That's kind of what Vooch does. And it's funny because the Celtics have been in on Vucevic since his Orlando Magic days. So it's funny to see him come back. And, I like your point about, the bigs kind of already stepping up. And it's funny because against the Houston Rockets last night in Houston, no Jaylen Brown, going up against Kevin Durant, one of the highly praised teams going into the season this year. And then you have Kata grabbing 19 boards and having 5 blocks. Luka Garza with a season high 19 points. These guys saw the Vooch thing happen. They're like, all right, well, this is going to light a fire under our ass. We're going to start playing now.
I'm not losing minutes.
Right, yeah. The Celtics signed rookie Amari Williams to a full-time deal today at the end of the deadline as well. So, we have a legit big man rotation now.
Yep.
And I'm excited, man. This is a fun move. This is a Brad Stevens masterclass move. He did, he moves at his own pace and in silence, and then these things just happen. This also created a $27 million trade exception for the Celtics. So
absurd.
Not as high as that 28.8 for the Grizzlies, but that's a damn good player you can bring in And
I'll
there's a
never
year-
understand how trade exceptions work or how they get decided,
Oh,
but hey,
I
Brad
don't-
Stevens knows how to get those trade
Yes.
exceptions, though. He
does know how
knows.
to get them. And I don't really fully understand it either, but Bobby Marks does. And so when he says it's a good move, I listen to that. And I'm
Yeah,
like, Brad
that's
did it
fair.
again. So yeah, happy about this. I'm not gonna ramble too much because I do want to do a little Celtics corner if you guys will allow it at the end of the episode. But
Oh no.
But
It's
you said the thing. You said the main thing.
You want to do Celtics corner?
He's yeah. Listen, this is why Stevie Boston disgusts me, because you enable this stuff, Steve, too. But you said the thing that's the biggest thing to me too is we went from who was playing center for this team this year to now there's every night they're going to have an option depending on who they're playing and what they want to do, and I bet you they use all of them. I bet you Joe Maz, the mad scientist, is going to figure out different combinations for how those guys can be best effective. But Vooch, it's a poor man's Porzingis in the way that they run their offense. I think a lot of things they can do. He's not going to handle the ball as much as Porzingis can, but he's going to be able, like Steve was talking about, stretching the floor and being that 5-out threat that they really want. It's a great move. Like you said, Dunny, they've been trying to get him for years now. Chicago, I don't know how he was on the Bulls for as long as he was.
He was probably sick of that shit, dude.
It's crazy. I mean, the people loved him here at this point, though. It turned into like, oh my, like this is our guy, because who else could be the guy? So it's a good move. It's a really good move for a team that continues to make a lot of really good moves.
Yeah, I'm excited. Big Vooch, welcome to Boston. Actually, Super Bowl Sunday, 12:30 against the Knicks. I'll be in the building at the TD Garden.
Hey, wow, what a day! Yeah, oh my God,
what a day for Dunny, my lord.
Yep. So I'm hoping he's in the rotation by then. I think he might be playing Friday, but we'll see. Jake, we had to talk about it at some point, and we're here, man. The Clippers trade James Harden to the Cavaliers for Darius Garland and a second-round pick.
Still disgusting hearing it every time.
Garland out, Harden in. Harden forced his way out of another situation. Was taking games off for personal reasons. The smoke was there, turned into fire. James Harden is a Cleveland Cavalier. Darius Garland's headed to the Clippers. Me and Steve know what you think, but let the listeners hear it.
All right, there's so many moving parts with this. I'm just going to attack the four main characters here, and then you guys take it wherever we're at. All right, because there's four main characters here in this scenario. Okay. First, let's start with the Garland part of it. You don't trade the only reason the Cavs are trading Darius Garland is they don't think he's going to be healthy for the rest of his career, which is terrible. That's what sucks about this deal for me is if the Cavs win this deal, it means that Garland is just an injured basketball player and his career is effectively over. And I don't want to root for that. I don't want to cheer for that. So there's it's a horrible option on that end, where otherwise, if he's awesome, the Cavs lose the trade. No matter unless the Cavs win the title, they basically lose the trade because they traded for a guy 10 years younger who's also has all-star potential because they were worried about his injuries and didn't give enough patience for it. But I would imagine if you're the Cavs, you don't make that move unless you're like, this guy is never going to be healthy. And his health has cost them. His health and his play when he's not healthy, especially in the playoffs, has cost them dearly. We talked earlier about the Hunter injury affecting them. The Garland injury probably affected them more than anybody else last year. Even Mobley being hurt, just having all that energy that Mitchell has to expend when Garland is out like that, especially in a playoff series, it's just not sustainable. And we saw it play out against the Pacers team that, went to the finals. Maybe they would have beat the Cavs regardless, but the injuries were a big part of it too. And Garland hasn't been healthy literally since college. He missed most of his college year, only year in college with an ankle injury. Didn't play that whole year. Came in, that was the biggest concern with him coming into the league is he going to be able to stay healthy? He's a small guy, and he's really never been fully healthy. And especially at the end of the year, there's been bumps and bruises on him where he's not the same guy. So from that perspective, with the Cavs being willing to get rid of Garland, it's all right, I see it. The Harden side of it all, James Harden this is just what he does, right? Like he's a businessman, he's a mercenary, he found a way out. He's saying all the right things. He's like, hey, like I think they have a chance to come out of the East. I think that, you know, this is a team I have a lot of faith in. I didn't see it with the Clippers as much. I wanted to give them a chance to get a younger player, get draft assets, even though the Cavs gave up the pick in this trade, a second round pick, not the Clippers, but that to each their, or just a second round pick, whatever. But the Harden part of it all, he's clearly just trying to get an extension out of the Cavs. He wasn't going to get it from the Clippers. He wants it from the Cavs. He had an option to go because Donovan Mitchell wanted him there. That's the third main character in this. And as you watch a video of Donovan Mitchell dapping up Darius Garland last night, I just had to laugh because he's clearly been the one, or all the reporting that he wanted Harden, that he had, you know, they had grown close over the years with Adidas and all the stuff they had done together there. And let's just face it, like the Mitchell Garland thing, it might have just been doomed from the start with the way those two guys play, how much they need the ball. They never really fully adjusted to each other and never really had the opportunity to, because they were both injured on and off, didn't get as much time together on the floor together. But Mitchell also wants an extension. And Mitchell basically forced the Cavs' hands here, saying, I'm not signing with you guys unless you do something to this. Like, this team's not going to get it done. We need to get something done. So that's where we're at with the Mitchell situation, is the Cavs like, well, he's, I mean, legitimately the second best player in our franchise's history. We have to go do, you know, head over heels, do whatever we need to do to keep him happy. So that makes sense from that perspective. And then the fourth main character here, the best player in franchise history, who Donovan Mitchell said last week, I don't think LeBron James's last game in Cleveland is happening. There's no way, 0% chance that LeBron James is not like thrilled with the fact that he might get to play with James Harden or was instrumental in this some way happening. Rich Paul, the other day on the podcast, told Darius Garland, this will be your last year in Cleveland. That's what he said from Rich Paul's words. He told Darius this will be his last year in Cleveland. We know now the Cavs among the favorites to land LeBron in free agency in the offseason. All of this is just, it's too fishy. We've seen the tea leaves how many times now with all these guys. That's where I'm at with this. It is the Cavs. Now, everybody's like, oh, they bailed on a 10-year window for a 2-year window. They didn't think they had it. They didn't think they had any window. They thought they were screwed. Like, that's the reason they made this deal. They did not think they had a chance to win the title this year as the team's currently constructed. Now, Steve, this is where we can maybe get into the argument. Does James Harden do that? Because James Harden, is he a better player than Darius Garland right now? Yes. Do I think the Cavs have a chance now to be the 2 seed, maybe even the 1 seed? That'd be a lot to chase down. But do they have a chance to make a real run with Harden playing, because he's actually playing really good basketball in the regular season and he's durable. He's going to be on the court. They can count on that. And clearly Mitchell wants to play with him. Yes. But I've been saving this comment from our friend Joseph. Let's all remember that Donovan Mitchell is a second-round merchant, and he hasn't been out of that playoffs in his career. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell never made it to the conference finals, and the guy he thinks is going to get it done with him is James Harden. So while I'm excited about what it is on the court it's going to look like, there's no part of me that can trust that they're going to pull this out, and it's going to be disgusting.
I get it. I understand it, but we've seen how many playoffs the past couple of years where Garland just isn't even available. He's not even there. And I understand. I'm not going to be here to defend James Harden in the postseason. I'm not going to be here to be like, oh, no, he's a champion. But what I am going to say is he's playing some of the best basketball of his career since his MVP Rockets days. He's averaging 25, 5, and 8 right now. And the biggest move I think that Harden helps with this team, the Cavs didn't get rid of the big. They didn't get rid of the Allen. They still have that issue, and they're going to have that issue in the postseason again. They get one of the best lob threats in the NBA. They get one of the guys who could actually help if you have 2 bigs there. They acquire Harden, which you brought up, is a guy that Donovan Mitchell clearly wanted. And this is a guy where Harden does not care if he takes 25 shots in a game one night or if he takes 10 the next. He's going to get Donovan Mitchell the ball. He's going to get him his shots. And Donovan Mitchell, I think, is going to have the best, playmaking teammate he's had. I love Darius Garland. I have nothing against Darius Garland. But what you said in point number 1, too, is the Cavs make this trade if they're worried about Garland's health long term. You're not trading for a 36-year-old unless you're really worried about, for a guy of the same position, kind of the same type of playmaker. If you're not worried about his health, you're getting a guy here, Harden. You know what James Harden is at this point. We know what James Harden is, and I get he's not Mr. Champion and he chokes in the playoffs. But if you look at the Cavs roster and you're trying to tell me that we don't even know how much we're going to get out of Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter was a giant disappointment. And now you have James Harden, right? Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. You cannot tell me that the Cavs roster before the deadline was better than the Cavs roster now. You can't. You can't justify that. You cannot look at those two rosters side by side and say this roster has a better chance of coming out of the East than the roster does today. I think the Cavs have a good shot at the East. Now, there's still some other teams in the East they got to get through, obviously. And I get you're burned as a Cavs fan by seeing the same song and dance, especially after last year when they had the historic regular season. And it looked like it was going to be different. And then Indiana just was on a warpath when they ran into them. But I will never, I said this about the moves earlier. I will never get mad at a team for trying something, for going out and trying something. I'll get mad at a team if they give up on, superstars in the middle of the night, call them fat on the way out. But I won't get mad at a team for trying to win now. And this is clearly a win now move. This is not we're building for the future. This is a win now move. And their roster is better today than it was before the deadline. And this is the year, and Dunny's going to be smirking in the middle because the Celtics right now are making not the case anymore, but was supposed to be the year the East was wide open. And we've seen how many Eastern Conference teams from the offseason to the trade deadline be aggressive and make crazy deals to try to have a chance for this little opening, this window where you don't really know who the true favorite is out of the East. Cavs are coming off one of their best regular seasons and that disappointing playoff finish. You got to switch it up. You can't do the same thing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. You can't just run this roster back. You got to bring in someone new. If Donovan Mitchell wants this guy, make your star happy. Go get the guy. I think he can also unlock Donovan Mitchell to another level where Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time. Harden's going to get him the ball in spots where he can score 30 plus a night. And also, too, like James Harden, I get it. He's not a champion. He's not a guy who has the greatest playoff, success, but he has experience at least. Like he has experience. And I know Harden shouldn't be trusted. Trust me. I get it. I understand he's in it for himself all the time. But at the same time,
how much
too,
he's made lifetime in the NBA?
I don't even want to. It's going to make me sick to my stomach.
Just from contracts. Part of my take talked about this. $411 million.
Good for him, man.
Good for him, man. Like that's the thing. I don't hate on the guy for that because you know what? He has looked at basketball his whole career as they treat me as an asset in business. I treat them as an asset in business.
Correct.
What am I? This is a fully transactional relationship. I will provide this. You will provide this money that I want. We'll be good. And then if it doesn't happen, that's what he goes on his way.
But with that being said, he's having an outstanding season.
He is.
We're not talking about a washed James Harden right now. We're talking about a James Harden who's playing his best basketball besides his MVP days in Houston.
He is, absolutely.
He's been a much better player, even when healthy, than Darius Garland this year. He has. It's just a fact. It's a fact. And you look at the two moves the Cavs made. It's three guys that you can play a lot of minutes. Three guys you can rely on. Oh yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right that they are a better team. They are a better team today than they were. But you brought up the definition of insanity, and that's where I'm at with James Harden going in and Donovan Mitchell going into a playoff run. I'm like, I've seen these guys do it 10 years.
You never seen them do it together. Maybe two opposites attract negatives turn from positive.
Maybe.
Hey, you never see those two together.
I'm also the guy who, like, when a team's on a 10-game winning streak, I bet against them when they're on a 10-game losing streak. I bet on them. Like sometimes things just happen. Things break through. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the chance for James Harden where he actually delivers. I don't believe that though.
Fuck it, bring in Rudy Gobert too, and have him and Don.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert for Jared Allen. Why didn't we get that done today?
Stop it!
Come on,
stop it!
But it's funny because you guys are both right in my opinion. I think you guys got to that. Like you guys are saying different things, and it makes sense from a Cavs fan's perspective to feel that way. But I'm with you, Steve. Like. Getting Harden is a clear upgrade from Darius Garland. For size, like, is James Harden ever been a good defender? No, but I think he's a better defender than Darius Garland.
And he'll rebound actually too.
Yeah,
he's 6'5". He's averaging 5 rebounds a game.
Yeah, like they need that desperately.
And you brought up Jared Allen, and like that, I hadn't even thought about that wrinkle in this before. Like, remember how good James Harden made Clint Capella look?
Yes. Oh,
like
Bob threat, man.
And
he now has 2 much better Clint Capellas on his team. So that's
disrespectful to Evan Mobley. We can't be calling Evan Mobley Clint Capella. I mean.
Well, much better. Like, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not downplaying that. And Clint Capella is pretty solid on the Rockets.
Yeah, he was.
But in any event, like that is a major upgrade just to the Cavs offense as a whole. Like they're going to be able to unlock some things. You talked about Don being able to play off ball more. Obviously the Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder thing, we liked that as it was. The only thing is like. James Harden player option next year, 37. Like, it's just weird because, like, I feel like if this doesn't work this season, it could get ugly.
What's going to happen, Dunny?
We know what happens.
They're going to sign Harden to a 2-year extension. They're going to sign Mitchell to a 2-year extension, and they're going to sign LeBron to a 1-and-1. And they're going to say, we got 2 more years of all these guys. This is our team. We'll see what happens. And they're still going to be in on Giannis. They are also going to be in on Giannis in the offseason.
Probably.
This is a team who set up. What the Cavs did too was shed. They are like only, and it sucks because they were trying to move Max Strus too to get under the second apron and be out of the first apron even. No, I think they're still over the second, but only by like $4 million. So they can make one quick move and then be able to trade for Giannis and go right back in. So if next year the team is Harden, Mitchell, Giannis and LeBron James, like I'm not gonna be mad. It's gonna be like the league's gonna hate it. Everybody's gonna hate on them. I don't know. These old super teams have never really worked, but then I'll buy it. Then I'll be like, all right, let's go. James Harden can be your 4th option in a playoff series. Sounds good. I'll take that. We can bury him if we need to. I'm just terrified, guys. It's not going to be a fun playoffs at all because even if they get to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, you know what the thought in my head's going to be? James Harden's gonna have 5 points tonight. Like that's where I can't shake it unless he goes for like 40 every single night. That it's just gonna be stuck in my brain the whole time. So as a fan, I don't like it. As a neutral basketball observer, it makes all the sense in the world to do it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, especially at the deadline, making this move. You probably weren't going to get a better player in return for Darius Garland. I will say hindsight's a motherfucker because remember all the Darius Garland Spurs were super interested last year or last offseason, I should say. Like it does feel like they missed the opportunity to trade him because now like the injuries are just so apparent to not only Cavs fans but everyone around the league. James Harden's a great return, but again, he might work his way out of town next year. And if it's a half season rental, that's not a great return. But,
well, here's the thing too, Dunny. If he works his way out of town, Don's working his way out. Like if it goes bad, like at this point, Don's going to get his trade too, and they're just going to blow it all up. And it'll probably be Evan Mobley around and nobody else. And they're going to fully rebuild. So
it's going to be the Mobley Keon Ellis show. But yeah, it's crazy trade like this. That again, NBA trade deadline did not disappoint. We'll talk more about the Clippers when we get to one of the last trades of the day. Jake, you good?
I'm good here. Yeah.
Well, I know you're not good, but
I'm not good, but we're here.
All right, another big name, back-to-back big names here. Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. Forgot Exum was still on the Mavs. He's now a Wizard. To the Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, and Marvin Bagley III. 2 second-round picks and 3 first-round picks. The first rounders are OKC 2026 first rounders, so not going to be a great one. 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. I misspoke. And then the second first-round pick is a 2030 protected Warriors first-round pick. So that, that could be pretty interesting. 2030, the way the Warriors are looking right now, that could be a good pick. But AD teaming up with Trae Young in Washington. Did you guys know that Rajon Rondo played more games for the Dallas Mavericks than Anthony Davis ever did?
Why would you say something like
That's
that?
absurd.
I saw that.
Like,
That's a crazy
why
stat.
would you say something like that? Tank is on. Let's go get another lottery pick. Let's maybe bump the Mavs up a little bit and get maybe bump the Mavs up a little bit, get that like top 4, Be a little something because Cooper Flag looks great.
I'll be
The
sick.
return for Luka has been absolutely dreadful. It got even worse. But if you want to look at it in hindsight, the Mavs technically traded up from pick 4 in the 2018 draft to Trae Young to get Luka at pick 3, and then traded up from that 2018 draft as well, pick 3 to pick 2. Marvin Bagley picked ahead of Luka Doncic. So full circle moment there. So all the Kings fans that were upset or thrilled that they got Marvin Bagley instead of Luka. Look at that full circle moment there. Now Marvin Bagley on the Mavs. This is just a rebuild move for the Mavs. We actually got picks this time. I am on the Wizards side of this though. They're going to be bad this year, obviously, and they potentially could get a lottery pick. And next year, I don't hate Wizards starting 5, guys.
Dude,
I was talking to my coworkers,
I'm
and I
excited
was like,
about it, actually.
this might be a potential top 4 starting 5 in the Eastern Conference next year. If you got Trae Young, right? And I'm not going to include potential lottery picks because we don't know what that would be. But Trae Young, Trey Johnson, Ishaun George, Sar, and AD.
And you got Koulibaly on that roster too.
Koulibaly on the bench, Carrington. You have your lottery pick. Like
I was going to say that lottery pick, Steve, for the Wizards too, because is Trae Young going to play the rest of this year? Is AD going to play the rest of this year? Like, why not just tank out and try to get a top 5 pick in there?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not including like who the player of the lottery pick. That's what I meant. I'm not speculating who it could be. Because they could very well be implemented into this lineup, and then Trey Johnson, probably your 6th man off the bench, just scoring guard. But dude, I'm looking at that roster. I'm like, that's not a bad starting lineup. Then you'll fill in the pieces for the depth and everything going forward. Who cares? But I don't hate it for the Wizards. And I'm going to sound like a broken record. I do not hate teams for going out and trying. Could this blow up in their face? Could AD play 15 games for the Wizards as well? Absolutely. Probably. But if AD's healthy, Trae Young's healthy, with, like you said, Jake, the young core they have, kind of the depth guys. They have Sar's taking a jump this year. George is taking a jump this year. And then you get in a potential lottery pick, even potential top 3 pick in the draft. I mean, that's a pretty drastic 180 for the Washington Wizards, if I do say so myself. On the Mavs side of it, tank, get gifted another lottery pick, and then let Cooper Flag play with another one of these superstars from college right now. Because what am I supposed to be excited about for this return? Genuinely. Do I care about the Thunder's 2026 first round? No. Do I care about the Warriors first round protected pick back in 2055? No, I don't. I don't care about a first round pick 4 years down the road. Do I care about Chris Middleton? No. One of my coworkers is a Mavs fan, tried to talk me into AJ Johnson today. He's like, dude, he's got some pretty good highlights. Great. Can't wait.
Been
Can't
traded
wait to
twice
watch
in 2 years.
Can't wait to watch AJ Johnson. I remember streaming him on my fantasy team for like 2 weeks on the Milwaukee Bucks. That's about all I got from AJ Johnson. Malachi Branham, don't care. And Marvin Bagley genuinely forgot he was still in the league. I know he's playing.
They
for the
literally
Wizards.
just needed someone to play center for them at this point.
Pretty much.
This is not trolling. I genuinely felt for you when I read all the names involved in this trade, and Dwight Powell is still on the fucking Mavs. How in the world did he survive this? There's
He's
about
He's got
he
big
survives
minutes,
every
bro.
one. He
He's
survives
taking
every
big
single
minutes.
one, bro.
he's played
Um,
with Dirk, Luca, and Cooper Flag, and he somehow survived this trade involving like 10 NBA names and expiring contracts, and that was the craziest part to me.
Tell you what though, Mavs might actually be fun to watch because Cooper Flag's gonna have about a 50% usage rate, and they're gonna lose
They were
130 to like
the
110.
Celtics Mavs game the other night was
Yeah.
a blast.
Dude, I know, dude. Flag has found it, man. He is.
Yeah.
His finish now, the left hand finish too, where he just
Nasty.
kisses it off the top of the glass, man. He's that quick first step. I'm just hoping. Just hoping that they could just fully tank now. I'm fine. Get rid of AD. You knew it was a mistake the moment Sham sent the tweet notification. He's gone. It's over. It's done with. Be bad and focus on the new look Mavs. I completely just blow it all up. New team, build around Cooper Flag. We'll see what we can do, and maybe gift us another lottery pick. You want to give us a top 2 pick? Hey,
Listen,
no.
you
I
you
won't
already
say
you
no
already
on the,
you already got that. You
no,
already got that.
no. I won't say. I will not say no to it twice, though,
I'll
Jake.
say
I
no.
will not say no to it twice. I will not say no to. I don't even care. It doesn't have to be number one. Last year, I was like number one is important. Doesn't have to be number one this year. You know what? You even want to give us a top 3? No.
Last year could have had Con Knipple. I don't know, man.
Dude, I hand up. I did not think he'd be this good.
I didn't think he could do this. I thought he'd be
And-
good, and I thought he'd be solid right away. But this is crazy stuff.
And I know today's the deadline show. Like next week, we just have to make sure the first 10 minutes we just talk about the Hornets.
Yeah.
We do have some Hornets
We'll talk
coming
about
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
have
do
a
some
move,
Hornets.
and I think I want to buy another good player.
Can we talk about that? Can we skip over this one to talk about the Hornets? Because I need to make fun of the Bulls. I really need to make fun of the
Please
Bulls.
make fun of the Bulls.
We could skip over this one to talk about the Hornets, but we have to talk.
We have to
about
come
the
back.
Hornets.
We have to come
Yes.
back. But guys, what are the Bulls doing here? What are the Bulls doing? Why did
Colin
they
Sexton,
trade?
bro.
Yes, I didn't put Sexton.
His nickname's
here.
the
That's my
Young
bad.
Bull. Maybe they knew that, and
Hey!
they were like,
Never mind. They did. This if it was all for Colin
I think that's his
Sexton, for the
Instagram handle.
merch.
They probably saw that and they were like,
The
holy
Bulls
shit.
roster is so bad. All due respect to you, JBC. I love you. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, I love you, JBC. The Bulls roster is horrible. It is atrocious. It is a joke.
Why did they move Kobe White, Vooch, and Io DeSumo to bring back Colin Sexton, Anthony Simons, and Rob Dillingham? Why did this happen? Like what?
3
What
second
is?
round picks in this one.
Hey, yep, there you go. You're right. 3 second round picks.
Oh,
Usman
those are
Dieng's
great.
not bad, but
I
again,
just
it doesn't
don't-
justify any of
Dunny,
this.
I mean, that is just the most pathetic throw a bone I've ever. I mean, come on, Dunny.
If
I
you're gonna
thought
blow
JBC
it up,
might
like-
be listening. I was trying to help.
Like what did they got worse for sure, which I'm sure they were trying to do. But like your guard situation, like I just are they? Is it just gonna be like the scene in Dark Knight where Joker has them break up the pool stick and like those three are gonna fight to the death to see who the starting guard's gonna be next year? Like, is that what the idea? Like, I don't understand. Like from a team building standpoint, I don't get why you need these three guys together all at once. I get wanting to get rid of Kobe. I get rid if you don't think Io is worth keeping, and that's a crazy one to do because he's from Chicago, went to Illinois, like homebred guy. Like that was it's a fan favorite. To do all that, to just kind of reshuffle the deck there, but get worse. It's just a hilarious. It's the Bulls just continue to make these stupid moves like this. They do it again. You build around Giddey and Buzelis, I guess. Giddey just apparently bought a $4.4 million condo downtown. So good for him, man. Like he's ready to stay here forever, get his numbers, everything else. But I don't see how three guards is going to do it. So I think maybe it's a tank. Maybe we'll see if one of these guys can stick around and the other two will go. Just hilarious from the Bulls, though. But the Hornets part of this. Go ahead, Dunny.
I was just gonna say that the Bulls are playing right now. You guys want to know their starting lineup?
What?
Isaac Okoro, Bozelis, Jalen Smith, Jaden Ivey, and Anthony Simons.
I forgot they got Ivy too.
Oh yeah, we're not even talking about Ivy. There's Ivy there too. See, but like Dylan, like the Bulls definitely convinced themselves like we have Dillingham and Ivy now. Like that would have been people would have been raving over that 3 years ago. We're chilling.
They
Oh,
got
and we got
Yabusele,
Sexton
too.
and Simons.
They just got
The
a
Hornets,
2K,
though. I
like
know
a
you were trying to
2K
talk about
roster
the
of
Hornets.
75 overall guys. That's what the
Yeah.
Bulls have.
Yeah,
So bad, dude.
but
They're all
the Hornets getting Kobe White is
Love
awesome.
it.
Unbelievable, bro.
Love it. The Hornets have just built a team of guys who were exciting, electric in college basketball, and they're so much fun to watch. I mean, just obviously besides LaMelo, but just look at their team. I mean, this is a team like you got Bridges, you got Brandon Miller, you got, Kobe White now, LaMelo, Knuppel, who, like I said, I cannot believe how good he's been. Diabate's been incredible for him. Kalkbrenner off the bench. I mean, this is just they're
It's
just
pissing
fun.
me off how good Cockburner is in the NBA.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like that.
I'll admit that. I'm like, how, dude? I thought for sure this is a guy who wouldn't translate. They're so good. That's 2 Sundays ago when they just beat up on the Spurs at noontime. I was like, holy shit, this team is legit. Grant Williams is balling for them too. Like they just have guys. I wanted to ask you guys, this Kobe White move, do you think that's a little insurance in case they want to move on from LaMelo?
Possibly, but I also think
I know he's a better like off. He's not as ball dominant. He's not like as good of a facilitator, obviously. But I'm just I'm curious. Obviously, LaMelo, huge contract, goes up. I think next year it's in the 40 million per year, and then 43, 46. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, definitely could be a starter for him. You know how I feel about Kobe White. I think he's got all the potential in the world, and I also think too, Dunny, like it's kind of for the Hornets sense a little bit of a luxury now because is LaMelo the guy you're building around, or is it this Knuppel guy who has everyone over for his family dinners on the team, and a guy who's dropping that feels like 30 a night, and his efficiency's through the roof, and a guy I didn't really think was gonna. I thought he'd be a solid player at the NBA level. I did not think he'd have this impact right away. He's been unbelievable, to the point where he's right there with Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year, right there with him.
Yeah, and shout out Charles Lee, ex-assistant coach for the Celtics, doing cartwheels in the locker room after they beat the Spurs. I think if the Hornets keep this up, like Coach of the Year candidate, in my opinion. I know they're the 11th seed right now, so that seems weird, but like the Hornets have been a laughing stock, and now they're I think Steve, that was you that sent it to our group chat. They had the best offensive rating in the entire league in the month of January.
Yeah, and that starting five, I believe, of Diabate, Miller, Bridges, Knuppel, and Ball is the highest rated in the NBA of any starting five. That's crazy.
Just insane.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
and they love playing with each other too. I don't know if you watch them play. They love playing with each other. They're just having fun. And I can't remember the last time I've said the Hornets are having fun.
I know, because even Brandon Miller this year, like he has like a little bit of shit to him, like that he didn't have last year. And I feel like this team's confidence is just through the roof. They all uplift each other. Real fun stuff. I did say we had to go back to Jared McCain because this is crazy. It's funny because Bill Simmons a couple weeks ago was talking about how McCain had dropped down to the Sixers G League team. He thought this was, this great asset, and maybe he was fading behind Edgecombe and Maxey and what was going to happen there. No, he's still an asset because he got traded for a first-round pick and 3 second-round picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't know. We talk about winners and losers at the trade deadline all the time. I think like singular players, Jared McCain might be the biggest winner of the trade deadline because you go from Philly, and obviously Maxey and Edgecombe are awesome, but the Sixers organization is the Sixers, right? We had the process, we had Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, who's been playing well lately. I'll give credit where credit's due. He also came back from injury a lot sooner than I think a lot of people thought. But like, think about those vets on those teams. Like, Paul George is getting suspended for using drugs. Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid, and now Jared McCain, who's a very solid guard, gets to go play with the reigning champs and gets to be put. Like if McCain goes to the Thunder's G League team for a few months, like that the Thunder's development is crazy. Like they make studs out of nothing over there. So I can't imagine bringing in a guy like McCain. They have a long-term point guard, just sitting there behind SGA and all the other guys who can handle the ball on that team. I thought this was a massive W for OKC, and I texted you guys. I'm like, how the fuck do they keep doing this?
I feel like it's a win-win move because I think you're right with Philly where they felt like and obviously,
It was a
it's
great
a
return
luxury
for
to have
sure.
Edgecombe and Maxey, right? McCain was kind of where Edgecombe was going to be before they drafted him. And I think it was the first game, right? It was opening night where Edgecombe had like 30 points and everyone
Yep,
was like,
against the Celtics.
"Whoa, who is this guy?" And I think Edgecombe just kind of surpassed him on this is kind of someone we want as the future of our franchise with Maxi, and it gets a little crowded. And McCain is a guy that I think still has a lot in it. He's an offensive bucket who can be a great addition to OKC, however they want to use him. Um, but it's the classic OKC has so many excess picks, and obviously you can do whatever you want with them. And we talked about it that we're going to see this Thunder team probably keep the same core around with those role guys. And I'm not talking role guys like guys who aren't doing anything. I'm talking guys who are going to play significant minutes off the bench, are going to be interchangeable, and they're going to change as the year goes on. And this feels like OKC getting another guy that they're like could be that role, right? He
Mm-hmm.
could be like a Cason Wallace type role for
Isaiah
this
Joe,
team.
like, yeah.
Isaiah Joe, exactly right. So when I look at that, I'm like, the Sixers got a decent return for a guy that I don't
Yeah,
think they were
the
probably going to
return's
use a
great.
lot. And the Thunder get a guy that I would not be surprised if Jared McCain goes for 20 plus minutes a night in the playoffs for this team. Not at all.
No. Yeah, he's like, for him playing on the G League, maybe people don't know too much about him. Like, this is a guy who played at Duke. Like, he played in huge games in college. Like, he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of scoring. So yeah, I
And he
agree.
proved himself last year too at the NBA level.
Yeah, I think so.
They've got a Dort decision to come up too, and I imagine they're not going to pay Lou Dort. And I think
I don't think so.
this is just part of it where he not slides in perfectly for Dort, but like just as another guy. If they lose one, all right, we got
Rotation
one.
guy,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So and like you said, Steve, they're going to have that flexibility to get whatever kind of quality role players they really want because of these picks, and they're going to be willing to make those moves. The team hasn't even really had Jalen Williams all year. And they're
Right.
they're where they're at right now too. So I think this helps in that
It's like
case
last year
too.
with Chet.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not fair. Embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, that is the OKC Thunder. Jake, another move for your Cavs. Traded
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball. Basically just shed money here.
Yeah.
Jazz, Rich Paul. There was tweets about Rich Paul saying, maybe Lonzo's not staying in Utah. Who knows where he ends up? Maybe he goes to a contender.
If a contender listen, good luck if a contender thinks they're getting something out of Lonzo. Lonzo was like, I'm pretty sure the second worst shooting percentage in the league this year. He owns at the moment, shooting like 29% from the field. Just looks slow. He can't hit any shots. He misses layups all the time. He's still a good passer. That's really it though at this point. So I was happy. I was waiting on that one. That helped them get close to the apron too. It made a lot of sense. Schroeder isn't going to bring up as much defensively, obviously, but that's kind of why you bring Ellis in too, to make up for that defensive loss, quote unquote, from losing Lonzo. Yeah. But just getting rid of Lonzo, even if they didn't do any other moves, the Cavs would have been a better team because he was just bad.
Yeah, I would have thought he maybe ends up in Charlotte with his brother, but obviously they brought in Kobe White and Mike Conley, so that's probably not happening anymore. Yeah, not really much to say there. Big one.
Well, real quick, Jake, are you gonna get mad at me if I say the Cavs are one of like my 3 winners at the deadline?
No, I think that the Cavs. James Harden categorically a better player than Darius Garland. Like there's like just it's not even close. Like
I don't like
Garland's
dislike
never
any of the
touching
3
that.
moves.
I
I
love the
don't dislike
Schroeder and
any of
Ellis
the 3
move.
moves. Yeah, I think it's a great move.
The only issue is that it is. I texted my buddy if the guy's name was Jim Softon and he's the same guy, I would be in the same player. I'd be just as happy. It's just the fact that it's him, guys. These are 2 guys that before they were Cavs, I talked so much shit on for their failures in the playoffs, for what I think of them as players when it comes down to that point. And now I have to like. I don't even know how I'm going to react. Harden hasn't played a game yet. It could be tomorrow night.
Right.
I don't know
Kings,
how I'm
right?
feel.
It's Kings first.
Yeah,
game
which is
for
hilarious
Harden.
that they played the Clippers last night and Garland got to say goodbye to his teammates on the away roster, sitting over there, just hey guys, how we doing? And now Ellis and Schroeder get to do the same.
It's crazy. Back
it's
to
just
back
so
like
weird.
that.
But no,
also-
I'm fine with it, Steve. It's just the James Harden of it all that I'm gonna have to go through this experience personally.
I get it.
It's strange too, and not to say that they can't make a run here, because Jake, I think you were mentioning that. Like, would it be a surprise at all if they finish as the 2 seed? Like you mentioned, 1 seed's a big ask at this point, having played this many games already. But it is funny because this was a team last year who won 60 games. You almost think a trade like this would be better off when you're on a 60 game win pace. But again, it's all hindsight when we're talking about the Darius Garland stuff. And yeah, it's an upgrade. Lonzo's gone. We'll see. At the very least, it's going to be exciting to watch.
It's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to be one of those where he's going to need to win for you to just get out of your own head on this, right? You're going to have right now, you've seen James Harden pass in his career, and you're like, I don't want that on my team. And I'll tell you what, all it takes is him to win, and you're all the way in. Because as a Rams fan, I did not like Matt Stafford before he came to the Rams. When he was on the Lions, I called him Matt Pad the Stafford, because I thought it was all garbage time in the 4th quarter. He couldn't win. Then he got out of the Lions organization, went to the Rams. I was like, all right, well, I got to root for this guy. Like, he's my franchise quarterback. I'll tell you what, started winning. Now he's one of my favorite athletes. So if James Harden can, unlock Donovan Mitchell, if he can get the lob threats going, you're going to forget everything bad, bad opinion you had about the guy. That's all it is.
I gotta see Jake in a James Harden Cavs.
Oh my God! Imagine that, dude. Like the Cavs start winning, they start flying up the East. They're having their best playoff push. We got this guy in a Harden jersey. Oh.
I just can't believe we're sitting here talking about this right now. Like if you would have told me before the year, hey Jake, Darius Garland's going to get traded straight up for James Harden at the trade deadline, I would have I don't even know, fell over, passed out.
All right, well,
here we are.
We could save you here
going,
from talking about a little more. Another big name trade. Jesus Christ, was this one overdue? Jonathan Kuminga finally gets traded from the Golden State Warriors, and Buddy Hield with him to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Tingus Porzingis. Interesting move, in my opinion, for the Warriors. I saw a lot of people like this. What'd you say, Steve?
I don't care. I don't care about the Warriors. I don't know. I feel like they just feel like they're in a win now mode, and that they're thinking that they're still the Warriors of old. I just don't care anymore. I love Steph Curry. He's always been yes, that's what I'm saying. He's always been one of my favorite basketball players to watch. I love watching him. I'll always root for him. I don't care anymore. I'm Dunny. I feel like you. I'm tired of the Warriors. I'm tired of them just getting a guy and being like, oh, no, this is going to do it. And yes, were they better when they acquired James Harden last year? Or, Jimmy Butler last year? Yeah. Yes, of course they were. And obviously the injury to him, it hurts.
Bad before he got injured.
Team, but they were bad. Exactly. They were bad this year before he got injured. What is Porzingis going to do for this team?
He doesn't even play.
Genuinely, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. And then you had all the rumors with Giannis that the Warriors were going to have this giant package to get Giannis. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, the Warriors just you're not the Warriors anymore. The dynasty's over. I know Curry's still there, and he'll probably retire a Warrior, and the dynasty won't truly be over until he's gone. You got Klay Thompson shooting 15% off the bench for the Mavs. I mean, and Draymond Green, he's doing more podcasting at this point than he's actually playing minutes. Like,
Oh my God, I can't stand
like,
Draymond, bro.
I'm just done. I'm done with the Warriors. Like, this move, like, same thing, Dunny. I saw people like going crazy over this move, like overreacting one way or another. And I was like, I don't care. Like, there's at least probably 8 more moves this trade deadline I cared about more than this Porzingis. I don't care. I genuinely don't care that the Warriors got Porzingis.
Desperation move for them, for sure.
For what? What are they desperate for?
You said win now. That's what they want. They all they're doing is turning over stones.
This is a win now move.
Well, that's the thing is that was the market for Kuminga. They thought Kuminga was going to be this big trade piece all these years. They're trying to put him in the Giannis trade, all this stuff, and he gets Porzingis. Like
this
they were
is
just
a massive dub for the Hawks. In my opinion.
huge. You get a flyer on Kuminga. You get healed.
It depends what Kuminga you get. I feel like if you want to call it.
I just think fresh start. Like if I'm giving up a guy who makes $30 million a year who's not playing for me, and I got to take a swing at Kuminga and then add more shooting.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. No.
The Warriors are going to make the playoffs, though. Like most likely in that Western Conference.
Well, when we get to the end of it, I do want to mention that bottom half of the West, because we'll get to it when we talk about the Clippers. But like 3 teams in that just like gave up at the deadline.
It's a tank race. It's a tank race. It should be though. It should be.
Yeah.
Except the Pelicans. The Pelicans said we got a good roster. We just got to. Did you see that report? That might have slipped by you guys yesterday. There was a report yesterday that was like the Pelicans plan to stand pat at the deadline. They think their roster is good enough to contend, and they need to work on their coaching and development.
Yeah, no, that's the issue.
What,
Holy
bro? You got
shit,
13
that's
wins.
the most
They're
embarrassing
13
thing
and
I've ever
40. You don't think you? No coach is getting you 30 wins better. I'm sorry.
Dude, Willie Green, like that is just mean to Willie Green, bro.
Yeah, you're right. The Warriors are absolutely getting in. At least the play-in. They're absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jake,
Memphis and Dallas aren't chasing them.
I saw that you liked my tweet, Jake. I thought it was Centel at first, but they Dunk Central posted, how's the Warriors lineup after the trade deadline? It was Steph Curry, Pods, Draymond at the 3, Horford and Porzingis. I'm like,
Horford and Porzingis, what are we doing?
Yeah, what do they think? They're the 2024 Celtics? Like, dude, it's not going to work. I'll tell you.
No, this is not going to work.
Draymond at the 3?
Curry would have to take 50 shots a game in that lineup.
A Spurs-Warriors first-round series would be just like the funniest thing in the world to watch. To watch.
I don't think they get out of the play. I don't think they get out.
And Cornette just laughing at Porzingis and Horford.
Who's getting into the play-in? Who are they going to have to play?
Oh yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, let's speed race these last ones.
I might say Portland. I might take Portland over the Warriors.
Oh no!
I might take Portland over the Warriors.
Yeah, let's get through the last couple of years.
What if Scoot comes back and he's a dog?
So that is possible.
Yeah,
we kind of mentioned this. Timberwolves, they traded. How crazy is that, too? What was Dillingham the 8th overall pick a few years ago?
Wasn't that one of the picks they traded to get him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That was the pick with Memphis, right? Was that the trade?
Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 second-round picks to the Bulls for Ayu and Julian Phillips. Talked about it a little bit on the Bulls side.
Just dartboard throws.
Yeah.
T-Wolves,
My favorite part of this deal is just 4 second rounds. I want a deal where an NBA team gives up like 12 second round picks.
Yeah, well,
they just throw in as many as possible.
So.
Exactly. They just throw in as many as possible. It's like, all right, you could take the 4 second round picks out of this deal, and it would be the same deal for me.
Yeah, the Bulls just decided because they're a terrible organization.
No.
Nobody else wants these second round picks. We'll take them. We'll take your second round picks. We're the Chicago Bulls.
Well, see, it's funny because it's funny because it's the Bulls. Like when OKC or Boston or I'm trying to think of like other teams who.
No, but they also get first. No, don't compare it to that because they get pick packages. Well, they'll get a couple first and then like 3 seconds thrown in. The Bulls just don't accumulate second round picks.
It's just seconds. The whole second round this year is just.
You guys see Big Cat's tweet today? He said, "What if all 14 second round picks are Jokic?"
Yeah, exactly. Then that's what I mean. They could have a super team.
That's what the Bulls are holding out hope for. We're just collecting.
Got to get
They're
those
collecting
Taco
them like
Bell
fucking
commercials
Pokemon,
rolling.
dude.
Start pumping
Oh
out
my
those
God.
Taco Bell commercials. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Shots at the dartboard, man. That's a Jerry
What if they're
Reinsdorf
14
way.
cheesy gordita crunches? So yeah, it's good for the
I like
Timberwolves.
Io going to the Wolves.
Me too.
They needed upgrades to their guard play. They needed to give Ant more help there. You bring in Herder, you bring in DeSumo. You have a those are 2 quality role bench players. They can slide in to start if they need to. I love the fit next to Ant with what these guys are able to do. I love this Wolves team, man. I've been saying it for like couple. I think we talked about it last show how much I was really liking this Wolves team. I really like this Wolves team, and I like what they did here to build around the edges here. I think that they're very well set up again for another playoff run.
Isn't Io kind of what like they drafted Dillingham hoping he would be? Just like a super athletic guard who can attack the rim. Like,
and he's got a little more size too than Dillingham. So it just I like it a lot. I think Io's a good player. Like Io has nights where he's put up 28 points this year for the Bulls.
And we're about to see him in a better organization playing alongside the best player he's ever played alongside. Like I don't think he's played alongside anyone better than Ant.
No love for Zach LaVine. Come on, bro.
No. Nope, not tonight.
It's crazy to say after you acquired Vucevic, but whatever.
Yeah, right. Come on, Vooch.
Fake fan Dunny. Hey. Fake fan Dunny over here.
I didn't even see this trade until the document. The next one. This Lakers.
Yeah, well, you didn't need to. We didn't have to put this in. Honestly, the only reason I put this in was because I have a Lakers take, but we might have to save it for next week, after we talk about the Hornets. But yeah, Lakers trade Gabe Vincent and a second round pick to the Hawks for Luke Kennard.
As someone who's watched a lot of Lakers, go ahead.
I just saw Shams being like, "Oh, the Lakers landed a sharpshooter to play alongside Reeves and Luka Doncic." I'm like, okay. Luke Kennard's been on like 6 teams in the last 3 years.
How many white dudes are the Lakers accumulating?
I know
they have
right?
Redick as the coach. You got Luka. You got Laravia. You got now you got Kennard. You got Reeves, obviously. There's a couple more too. Because I was thinking even before this trade,
Connect. On the roster?
Yes, Connect. Like it's a little strange. Gabe Vincent, watching the Lakers a lot. One of the worst players in the league. So this is like a win for the Lakers. That's just the Lakers win this trade.
Killed the Celtics in 2023.
He did, and then that was his peak. He's never getting back to that. Yeah. So good for the Lakers. And Kennard will have more open shots than he's ever had playing with Luka. So he will be a difference maker, I think.
The Pelicans did make one move, and I actually like this for the Knicks. The Knicks acquired Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans for Dalen Terry and 2 second-round picks. Kind of a nothing trade, but I like the Knicks adding to that guard depth.
Doesn't Alvarado feel just like the most annoying New York Knick in the world?
He's the perfect Knick.
He's the perfect Knick. He's also from New York, which I didn't know that either. I got to check where from exactly, but I heard that on Sirius earlier when they were talking about this trade.
I could see him wearing Tim's, so that checks out.
Absolutely. He is, come on, Wikipedia. Let's go quick. Brooklyn. Yeah. Born in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
So New Yorker, born and bred. Like that, the Garden's going to go insane for Jose Alvarado's antics.
The first time he does like his hiding steal, dude, and then they're going to pan to Spike Lee just like shaking someone next to him after it happens. Yeah, no, you're right. This is
When he does it to James Harden in the Eastern Conference Finals and in the fourth quarter, it's going to go fucking crazy, dude. It's going to go nuts.
No, Alvarado is the perfect Nick. So shout out them. They beefed up the guard play a little bit there. This, kind of a buzzer beater. I guess it wasn't too close to like the actual deadline, but it was our last big one of the day. And this had me puzzled with the Clippers, but the Clippers traded Zubac to the Pacers for Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, both very solid players, 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. I talked about this with you guys before the show. The 2026 first-round pick they got is 1 through 4 protected and 10 through 30 protected, which I have never seen before. And Steve, you said it. This is
They made it up.
Yeah.
They made it up.
Adam Silver is making shit up.
5 through 9, and that's it.
5 through 9. If it falls in those other zones, though, that are protected, it turns into a 2031 Pacers pick.
5 years later, they made it up. They had to. That can't be a trade rule. That can't be.
And, I mean, fucking shout out the Pacers, man. Like, I like this a lot.
Next year.
Do you?
Next year.
I do.
Their starting lineup could be Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Zubac.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is it certainly one of the best starting lineups.
And don't forget, they're fucking one of the worst teams in the league, dude. They're probably going to have a lottery pick.
Yep, and they're going to have that. Yep. And they could have a number 5 pick, too, or a 6 or a 7 or an 8, maybe even a 9. You never know.
So, yeah, if that lands in that zone and they get a lottery pick of their own, and like you basically from the finals team swap out Turner for Zubac, like completely different centers, but they needed one.
Right.
And I like Zubac's game a lot. I think this is sneaky for the Pacers. It was almost like, to me, like, why not? Because they probably know they're going to have a good pick of their own. And they're like, we suck this year. Let's take a swing.
Him and Siakam, like, post passing is going to be it's like Rick Carlisle's dream. Like, the passing they're going to be able to do with this team. Like, Zubac's such a good playmaker from down low. Siakam the same way. Like, I can't wait to see what their 2-man game looks like together. But with Halliburton, too, just like, oh my God.
It kind of allows Siakam to play a little bit more of that free throw line extended, where I actually think that's like his best game. He's able to play a little deeper. He can post up from like the free throw line.
Those pocket passes that he's going to find Zubac on, like it's going to be they're going to play such beautiful. They are going to be such a fun team to watch next year.
Yeah, the biggest thing about this is like it kind of left me puzzled with the Clippers because they made the Garland move, and maybe they're expecting Garland's not going to be healthy the rest of this year also, but we talked about it. This is kind of what I was alluding to, that bottom half of the Western Conference, where I think the Clippers are going to fall at this rate, right? They got rid of Harden, they got rid of Zubac, like Kawhi and Garland, 2 injury-prone guys, are like your two main guys at this point. They're
Kawhi
probably
could just
falling.
sit out the final month if they don't look like they're in a good spot.
And then it's like the Blazers are going to be in the play-in, I think.
Yeah,
they're going to have to be. Like the Grizzlies, they sold. The Mavs, they sold. The Jazz have Jaren Jackson Jr., but that's a steep climb they would have to make. And fucking Pelicans, I guess, are trying to work on their coaching. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know that. I can't believe that was a real thing.
No, I laughed so hard. It's like, yeah, the Pelicans, they think they're good. They got all the pieces.
If I was a Pelicans
I disagree.
fan, I would be throwing away my jerseys.
Well, there's 4 of them. The 4 of them out there are furious.
Yeah, there's not many. There's not many of them.
And they lost Alvarado, dude. He was like
exactly the fan favorite. Yeah, like just ridiculous.
Is that at the end of all the trades, guys? We powered through that. All the relevant ones. We thought if we missed an intricate one for your team and you were hoping to hear, we're sorry. But then the Brooklyn Nets just said, fuck you, Cam Thomas. Get off our team.
Yeah.
At the end of the deadline. So he's going to end up somewhere. Like someone is going to sign Cam Thomas. Is he a Houston Rocket?
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. He's going to be a Bull.
What about like the Nuggets? They just lost Peyton Watson, too.
Yeah,
they
need some
bench scoring. They don't even do anything else.
For a
Shit, the
brief
Warriors
second,
should try to get. We're talking about them trying to
Oh,
make a run. The Warriors should just make him their bench
win now.
guy.
he's
Yeah,
their
win
Buddy
now.
Hield. They lost Buddy
Yeah,
Hield. Here's your
exactly.
next Buddy Hield.
I think this might be from a game that I was watching when I was sick and down bad, in the middle of January. I was watching a Nets Celtics game, I think on a Friday night, and Cam Thomas got the ball with like 3 seconds left and passed it to his teammate with like 0.5 seconds left because he didn't want to affect his field goal percentage and take a bad shot. Coach immediately took him out and benched him the rest of the game. And I think the relationship soured from that point, and they were just like, you know what? And I can't imagine MPJ likes him because they're deep down the same guy,
Yeah,
and they probably butt heads. So,
and
yeah,
they have so many guards on that team too.
Yeah.
So
Right.
and I couldn't tell you the direction they're going because, people speculated MPJ was going to get traded. I never really thought that. I'm like, they went out and got this guy. They made the deal in the offseason, and he's been amazing for them.
Yeah.
So, maybe they're just seeing what they can do next year. They waive Cam Thomas. It's going to be interesting to see where he lands. He's going to go to a team that's competing, I would imagine.
It's got to be a contender, right?
your Celtics.
See, me and Brett thought that for a brief second, and then we were like, Missoula would hate this
He would
guy.
kill him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd kill him.
Missoula would hate this guy. So don't think that would work out. But
Pistons wouldn't work either. I'm trying to think of like.
I know. Let's look.
I really think the Warriors. I really
Spurs
could
have too
see
many
that.
guards.
Yeah, Spurs.
A team that
Lakers
just
would be
needs
The
a guy
Lakers. The Lakers
Oh,
are always working.
bleh.
Lakers would be comedy.
That'd be
Yeah,
so funny.
that would
You
be
can you imagine LeBron on the court with Cam Thomas?
The Heat?
The Heat?
Maybe
Heat culture?
Yeah.
Never know.
Magic? I don't know. You guys all right if I do a little Celtics corner? It's a lengthy
Absolutely.
episode. I'll make it quick. I can't believe it, guys. I actually can't believe it. I'm not even trying to boast during any of this. This is fucking insane. The Celtics have the first offensive rating in the NBA after last night. They went into Houston, beat the Rockets on the road without Jaylen Brown on the second night of a back-to-back. Second net rating in the entire NBA. On DraftKings, they have the 5th best title odds right now. I think FanDuel did the 3rd best. I don't know how Joe Mazzulla is not coach of the year. You lose.
He's not the favorite.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
got
just
it,
saying, like,
right?
if he doesn't end
Okay.
up coach of the year, like, he has to. He might be the favorite. I didn't look at that. But, like, you lose Tatum. You lose Porzingis. You lose Holiday. You lose Horford. And you make it work with this group. I also, like, Jaylen Brown. I know he's been getting his credit from the national media this year, which deservingly so. But the fun thing about this season for Jaylen Brown to me is, like, any of the guys who work close to him, and I don't know where you guys were at. I was saying this last year, but like the Devin Booker Jaylen Brown conversations are over. Like Jaylen Brown is past Devin Booker in my opinion. Like
I was on that though. I think since the championship, but yeah, it felt like the media had Booker ahead of him for.
I'll do you guys one better, and I don't think you guys will agree with this one. Jaylen Brown's better than Anthony Edwards.
No.
I think Jaylen Brown's better than Anthony Edwards.
No. Now you
I
got
don't hate it.
Steve?
I don't
Stevie
hate
Boston?
it, but I'm not. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't
You wouldn't
hate
go
it.
there?
I don't hate it, but I think if you're asking me like today, I'd still probably have Anthony ahead of him.
Okay.
And Ant's also
I think-
22.
True.
Like
That's
Ant
fair.
is not even close to his
But-
final form yet. That's the scary part about Ant.
But
I would still take Ant.
What people were trying to do
24,
to Anthony
sorry,
Edwards
but
last
still.
year, and like people were trying to say he was the face of the league.
They're
Just
still
a quick-
trying to say that.
And
They're
they
still-
did make the Western Conference Finals again. He's getting the you know what he's getting? He's getting the Josh Allen treatment.
Yeah, I honestly, and maybe I'm being unfair because he's probably getting a little bit of the Tatum treatment too, because I think people are starting to.
It's
downplay
Americans
it.
too. That's part of it too. Is that it's we're in America. American media wants an American guy to talk about. Ant is the closest guy. Tatum, he's a Celtic. Sorry, Dunny. Like they're never gonna give it to the Celtic at this point. So Ant is the more fun option.
Just for the listeners out there, you guys are probably keen to this, but Anthony Edwards stats 29.7 points per game, which amazing. Jaylen Brown 29.5. Rebounds 5.3 for Edwards, 7 for Brown. Assists 3.7 for Edwards, 4.8 for Brown. I think they're both shooting 48% from the field, 49 for Edwards.
You can argue that he's having a better season, but I still think Anthony Edwards is a better basketball player.
And I would understand people thinking that. And I think obviously it's close, but it's just this is more than half of a season of Brown being the number one, which he's never had that luxury of being able to show before. And Edwards has had, his whole career being the number one. Young career, and obviously Brown hasn't been this good until his prime. So, I don't think it's I'm not doing this to downplay Edwards. I'm just like I've kind of been always on the Jaylen Brown is that good train. And now that he's actually able to showcase it on a night-to-night basis, and he's averaging 30, it's nice to see that there isn't really much people can say about Jaylen Brown now. The turnovers are down.
I take him over Jake's guy, Mitchell.
Yeah.
I take Brown over Mitchell.
Yeah.
But I think
one finals MVP, one doesn't get to the conference finals. So, I mean, that's not even
not wrong about that. Well, according to my friend, though, Jaylen Brown, it's playoff basketball is different than the regular season.
That was a crazy text to read.
That was a wild one. But I mean, even saying that I think Anthony Edwards is better, that still puts Brown very, very high up there. I mean, we're talking top 8 player in the league, right? If we're thinking about it that way, right? You have your big 4, and then after that, Tatum when he's healthy is right up there. Ant's right up there. Like Brown's right up there. He's right up there, like top 7, top 8 players in the league right now. Obviously, you still got to give Curry credit too.
Where do we put Kawhi? Like Kawhi has to be up there too.
A healthy Kawhi, man, dude. I know.
That's the weirdest part about the Clippers. Going back to the Clippers part is like, what do you like? You're just all of a sudden tanking, but you have Kawhi on your team who's putting up like 33 points a game playing. Yeah, right. Like what the fuck?
This is
they just must think Garland. They must think Garland.
When those two went at it, JB had 50 and guarded Kawhi the whole game. Just saying.
It's fair.
But I would say I would not argue with people if they said Kawhi is better than Jaylen Brown because this is one of the best Kawhi seasons we've ever seen. But he had the fucking fake tree company shit at the beginning of the season, and now he has no teammates. So I don't.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like it feels like. As good of a year Kawhi's having, no one's paid attention to it.
I think the league is blackballing him. Like I think they're mad.
Right.
I think they're angry with him. That Wendy was speculating. That's why. I mean, and now he's in the fucking dumbest All-Star game of all time because they needed to meet requirements of USA players. I don't even know. I'm boycotting the All-Star game.
Oh.
Kawhi's an all-star now, apparently. I just found that out.
Well, he should have made it to begin with over
LeBron.
But the LeBron, I'm not against LeBron being in the All-Star because it's LeBron James. At this point, like, I don't care.
Yeah, we just have to
accept LeBron James. He's been the face of the league for 20 years. You want him in the All-Star game.
I guess so. It's just
I still couldn't even tell you how this thing is playing out, dude. I don't understand it. I'm not trying to understand it. If they're not going to give us East versus West, if they're not going to give us good uniforms, I don't care.
It is dumb. It's just
I'm probably still going to watch it.
I'll still watch it too. I'll watch the skills night as well. I'll watch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm always going to be excied for that shit.
Your boy's in the dunk, right, Duran? Jalen Duran's in the dunk contest,
he is.
Right? I saw that.
And Canupo's in the 3-point. And I'm excited about that.
That'll be a fun one, yeah.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, no, I'm always going to be excited for those two. Skills challenge fun. Celebrity game hasn't been fun in years. I just don't know any of the celebrities anymore.
Shout out both my guys, first-time All-Stars, Jalen Johnson and Dunny Advia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go. Both of them first-time All-Stars. They picked the breakout season at the same time, so we take
Jamal Murray, first-time All-Star.
Jamal Murray, well-deserved first-time All-Star. too. Kind of crazy that he hasn't.
You guys were all over that too when Jokic went down. You guys were all over
he's-
that. You're
he's
like,
a
he was playing well when he was playing, and then when he went down, you're like, you guys were like, he's gonna rise, and he has, and he's continued.
Nuggets didn't really miss a beat.
The
Unfortunately,
Nuggets, they're just.
Peyton Watson injury is going to hurt him a little bit.
It is
though.
going to hurt them.
He's made a huge impact on that team this year.
But yeah, they're just such a like Adelman's a great coach. They just have a great organization. Like they are like very Spursian. Like the Spurs are still very Spursian too, but the Nuggets feel similar. Like with Jokic as that center and everything, they play ethical hoops. The Nuggets, absolutely. The West. Once we get to the West semifinals, it's gonna be. Oh my God.
I genuinely wait. I can't wait to see how the West unfolds. I think there's like 5 teams I think could win it.
Do you include the Houston Rockets in that? Because I don't know if I do.
I do include the Houston Rockets.
You know what's strange about
the way Amen's been playing, the way Sengun's
Steven
been playing,
Adams injury hurt them more than I thought it would. Watching them the other night,
I just think it's going to be tough without. It still looks weird offensively for them. Like they really haven't figured out who's going to run that team. KD's done good,
like
solid.
a weird struggle. Yeah, no, the last like few games he struggled a bit.
Yeah,
but KD's KD. He's fucking awesome.
That's the thing. I'm not worried about KD turning it on when the games like matter.
Not worried about him. I'm just worried about who like. The ball handling is, I think, going to be an issue for them, especially when they play. But when they play the Spurs and the Thunder, if they have to play the Spurs or the Thunder in a series, though, like, is Thompson going to be able to do that for 7 games?
I feel like the more I watch Thompson this year, the better he gets. I really do.
And his brother Asur is ascending.
Yeah,
the Thompson brothers are awesome. Anyway, we're almost going on 2 hours here, guys. Anything else trade deadline wise?
I've never experienced what I'm about to experience as a sports fan, so I'm ready for the ride here. James Harden. I'll have the jersey next week. Don't worry.
I was going to say, yeah, let's see it. All right. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you guys for sticking with us through all the trade talks. Even better than seeing all the trades happen now, like these next couple weeks, we get to see all the guys in new uniforms, new threads, awkwardness like last night with the Clippers and the Cavs. We'll get a little bit of that upcoming on this week. So thank you guys for listening. Go subscribe to Trainwreck Sports on all platforms. Follow us on all platforms at Happy Hour Hoops 1, and we will talk to you guys next time. Thank you.